Magandang buhay, BIS Grade 8 learners. Welcome to our Mathematics 8 Quarter 4 Week 8 lesson. By the way, I am Mrs. Annalisa Pihuño, your teacher for today's lesson. Topic for today's lesson is about finds probability of simple events. Before we go on to our discussion, let us first answer this pretest. Directions: read and understand each statement carefully. Write the letter of the correct answer on a separate sheet of paper. Number 1. It is a process or an action of observable results. A. Outcomes. B. Sample space. C. Experiment. Or letter D. Event. Number 2. A spinner is divided into 4 regions with distinct color in each region: red, blue, green, and yellow. What is the sample space of the given experiment? A. S is equal to red, blue, green, and yellow. B. S is equal to red, orange, blue, and green. Letter C. S is equal to red, blue, yellow, and pink. And letter D. S is equal to red, blue, and yellow. Number 3. It is known as one of the possible outcomes of an experiment. A. Outcomes. B. Event. C. Sample point. Or letter D, product. Number 4. 10 cards are labeled from A to J, then placed in a box. The event of selecting vowels has the elements A, E, I, B, A, B, C, D, C, A, E, J, or letter D, E, I, J. Number 5. It is a subset of the sample space. A, product. B. Sample point. C. Event. Or letter D. Outcomes. Okay, let us check. Number 1, the correct answer is letter C. Experiment. Number 2, the answer is letter A. Number 3, the answer is letter C. Sample point. And number 4, the answer is A. 5, our answer is letter E. Our learning objectives are the following. You should be able to first, define probability. Second, understand the probability rules and important terms in probability. And solve problems involving probability of simple events. Let us answer this review or drill that we will need and use for the activities that we will do in our lesson. A. Simplify the following fractions. Number 1. What is the simplified form of 2/4? The answer is 1/2. Number 2. What is the simplified form of 3/18 or 3/18? The answer is 1/6. Number 3. The simplified form of 3/12 is... Okay, the answer is 1/4. Letter B. Change the following fractions into decimal form. 1/2. What is the decimal form of 1/2? So we simply divide 1 by 2. So the answer is 0.50. How about 1/4? The answer is 0.25. Next, 3/4. The answer is 0.75. Next, letter C. Change the following decimal forms into percentage. Number 1, 0.50. The answer is 50%. So we simply multiply 0.50 by 100 or move the decimal point twice to the right. Next, How about 0.25? Okay, so the answer is 25%. And last one, 0.17. Our answer is 17%. Always remember, class, that things may happen or occur impossibly, unlikely, evenly chance, likely, or certainly. Example number 1. Is it possible to a man to get pregnant? Okay, so the answer is no, that is impossible. So wala pa tayong nakita na lalaking nagbuntis. Example number 2. Struck by lightning. So sa lahat ba ng pagkakataon may tinatamaan ng kidlat? Okay, so not in all cases is someone struck by lightning. So meron sigurong ilang pagkakataon na may mga tao o mga bagay na tinatamaan ng kidlat. So that is unlikely. So it means there is a small chance to happen. Example number 3. Flipping a coin. So in flipping a coin, there are two possible outcomes. The head and the tail. So the chance to get a head or a tail is 50-50. So that is an even chance. So ibig sabihin, equal yung chance na makuha natin yung head or makuha natin yung tail. Example number 4. So based on the figure, getting blue ball where there are more blue balls than a single red ball. So picking a blue ball. So the chance of getting blue ball is higher than getting a red ball. So that is what we call a likely event. So it means the chance to happen is higher or bigger. Example number 5. You feel your heartbeat. So, diba? Habang tayo ay buhay, mararamdaman natin na tumitibok ang ating puso. So, hindi lang habang nakikita natin yung mga crush natin. So, hindi lang yun ha. Habang tayo ay may buhay, may tibok ang ating mga puso. And that is a certain event. So it means when we say certain, the possible chance to happen is 100%. Okay, class. So lahat ng binigay natin ng mga example ay may kinalaman sa tinatawag nating probability. Now, what is probability? So when we say probability, that is the measure or estimation of how likely it is that an event will occur. So since many events cannot be predicted with absolute certainty, so probability helps to predict the likelihood of an event to occur. So it is the ratio of the number of favorable events to the total number of events in an experiment. So to better understand probability, class, we are going to use the probability line. So this is our probability line. Okay. If an event has a 0% to happen or is 0% to happen, that is what we call an impossible event. So mahirap mangyari or hindi mangyayari. Katulad ng pagbubuntis ng isang lalaki. Next, if an event has a small chance to happen, that is what we call an unlikely event. So, ibig sabihin, maliit lang yung chance na mangyayari yung naturang event. But, if an event has a 50% chance to happen, that is what we call an even chance. So, katulad ng flipping coins, head and tail. Next, if an event has a higher chance to happen or more than 50% to happen, that is what we call a likely event. Katulad ng pag-pick ng blue ball out of more blue balls than a single red ball. Next, if an event is sure to happen or 100% to happen, that is what we call a certain event. So, ibig sabihin, mangyayari at mangyayari anuman ang gustuhin natin. So, let us go to the definition of terms. First, what is an experiment? So, when we say experiment, that is any procedure that can be infinitely repeated and has a well-defined set of possible outcomes. Next, how about outcomes? Outcomes is the results in the experiment, while sample space is the total number of possible outcomes in an event. An event is the subset of a sample space. Next, sample point is a single outcome. So to compute for the probability of a simple event, we are going to use this formula. Probability of event equals number of favorable outcomes over the number of possible outcomes. Always remember, class, that numerically, the probability value always lies between 0 and 1. And it is expressed in percentage, decimal, or fraction. Okay, so let us try to answer the following examples. So direction, read and analyze the following problems, then solve. Write your solution and answer on a separate sheet of paper. Number 1. In tossing a coin once, what is the probability of getting a head? Number 2. In rolling a die once, what is the probability of getting 5? Number 3. A bag contains 5 blue balls and 2 red balls. What is the probability of picking a blue ball? Number 4. If a letter is chosen at random from the word Philippines, what is the probability of getting A? And number 5. Sandro is playing cards with his brother. When he draws a card from a pack of 35 cards, numbered from 1 to 35. So, what is the probability of drawing a number that is divisible by 5? Okay, so let us solve. Here is our solution. For number 1 problem, in tossing a coin once, what is the probability of getting head? First, the experiment is tossing a coin. The sample space is 2. So, ang sample space na pwede nating makuha ay head and tail. Yung outcome na gusto nating makuha ay head. So, P of event is head. So, the probability of event is getting head. So, ibig sabihin yan, ang formula natin, P of H or probability of getting head is equal to the number of favorable outcomes over the number of possible outcomes. So, ilan ba yung favorable outcomes natin? So, ang favorable outcomes natin is head. So, ilan ba yung head sa coin? So, we only have 1. So, how about the number of possible outcomes? So, how many possible outcomes? So, we have 2, the head and the tail. Okay, so the answer is 1/2 or 1 over 2. So, the probability of getting head is 1/2. Next, so sabi natin kanina, so the probability can be written in fraction, decimal, or percentage. So, yung fraction natin is 1/2. Okay, so the decimal form is 0.50 and the percentage is 50%. So, there is a 50% chance that we can get the head in tossing a coin once. So, since that is a 50% chance, so that event is an even chance. Example number 2, in rolling a die once, what is the probability of getting 5? So, what is the experiment in this example? So, our experiment is rolling a die. Sample space is 6. So those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Our outcome is 1. So isa lang naman yung number 5 dun sa ating lab. P of event is 5, or getting 5. So therefore, our formula is P of 5, possibility of getting 5. So ang number of favorable outcomes natin ay 1. So isa lang naman yung 5. The number of possible outcomes is 6. So therefore, the answer is 1/6. Probability of 5 is 1/6 or 1/6. The fractional form is 1/6. The decimal form is 0.17. And the percentage form is 17%. So since 17% is less than 50%, so it means that is an unlikely event. Okay, so example number 3. A bag contains 5 blue balls and 2 red balls. So what is the probability of picking a blue ball? Our experiment is picking a colored ball. Sample space is 7, so we have 5 blue balls and 2 red balls. Our outcome is 5. So since we have 5 blue balls, our P of event is blue ball. So P of blue ball is equal to the number of favorable outcomes, which is 5. Ito po yun. Number of possible outcomes is 7. So P of B or P of getting blue ball is 5/7. So the fractional form is 5/7. The decimal form is 0.71. And the percentage form is 71%. So since 71% is greater than 50%, so therefore, that is a likely event. Example number 4. If a letter is chosen at random from the word Philippines, what is the probability of getting A? Experiment. So choosing a letter from the word Philippines. Our sample space is 11. So PHILIPPINES. The outcome is 0 because there is no letter A in the word Philippines. P of event is A. Our P of A is equal to the number of favorable outcomes. So how many A's? 0. So the number of possible outcomes is 11. So therefore, the P of A is 0. Okay, so in fractional form, that is 0/11. The decimal form is 0.0 or simply 0%. Ang percentage form natin ay 0%. So since that is a 0% chance to happen, so therefore our event is an impossible event. So how about number 5? Okay, so number 5. Sandro is playing cards with his brother when he draws a card from a pack of 35 cards numbered from 1 to 35. So what is the probability of drawing a number that is divisible by 5? So our experiment is drawing a number from a pack of cards. Our sample space is 35. So we have 35 cards sa pack of cards. Our outcome is 7. So ano-ano ba yung divisible by 5? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35. Our P of event is number divisible by 5. So P of divisible by 5. So number of favorable outcomes is 7. The number of possible outcomes is 35. Or getting the simplified form of 7/35. So the answer is 1/5. So P of 5 or P of divisible by 5 is 1/5. So in fractional form, that is 1/5. our decimal form is 20, and the percentage form is 20%. So again, 20% is less than 50%. So that is an unlikely event. Okay, so for your activities, you're going to try the following activity. So directions, referring to the spinner, answer the following questions below. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. So, kayo naman ang magsasagot niya. So, you're going to answer this activity. Next, so our application. So, directions. Read and analyze the following problems. Solve and write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. So, number 1. There are 20 students in a class. So, if a student is selected at random from the class, what is the probability that Levi will be selected? So, what is the probability that Jericho will be selected? Number 2. There are 20 comedies and 25 dramas in a bargain bin of DVDs at a store. If Aldrin reaches in and selects a DVD without looking, what is the probability that he will select a drama? So for our evaluation, so directions, read and analyze each problem carefully. Find the probability of simple events in fraction form if necessary. So number 1, when a pair of die is thrown, what is the probability of getting a number that is greater than 5? Number 2, each of the letters of the word understanding is written on a card, and all the cards are placed into the box. A card is randomly selected from the box. What is the probability that the card bears A. consonant, B. vowel? Number 3. There are 53 students in a class. 33 are girls. If a student is selected at random for a field trip, what is the probability of selecting a boy? Number 4. Joshua chooses a card at random from those as shown below. So the word is statistic. What is the probability that the card is A. letter S and letter B. letter C? Okay, class. So always remember this. The probability of success is difficult to estimate. But if we never search, the chance of success is 0. That is by Philip Morrison. So ang success, hindi yan dumarating ng basta-basta lang. So, yan ay hinahanap. So, kailangan lagi lang tayo magtiyaga at magsumika. Pero kasi, pag hindi natin hinanap yun, hindi natin pinagsikapan, wala. So, 0 chance ang success na makukuha natin. So, our answer key for the activities na ginawa natin kanina, ha? So, yung activity for try this, for the application, and for the evaluation. So, class, so that's the end of our discussion. So, I hope you've learned something from me. So, good day and God bless us all.